I'm Matt Brown, and this is the Matt Brown Podcast, the show that's about all things local and maybe some other stuff too. This is another abridged version of Newsmakers. This episode is airing on Rogers Television right now, and today is Remembrance Day. So naturally, this show is focusing on our Canadian veterans. If you've tuned in before, you'll know that this podcast is sponsored by London Bicycle Cafe. I appreciate their support very much. And for this episode, the show's on the house. It's in honor of our veterans. Today, we're going to take a look at two local organizations who are honoring our veterans each and every day. Specifically, the Remember November 11 Association and our local chapter of Homes for Heroes. These are two of many local organizations that support, honor, and advocate for veterans living in London and area. So with that, let's go. First up, we'll be speaking with Sean Wilson about the Remember November 11 Association. And for the second half of the episode, we'll be speaking with Kirsten Kroos. She's going to tell us all about the local Homes for Heroes chapter that operates right here in London. This is an important episode to me personally. My great-grandfather, John Easby, served during World War I. He was a part of the Battle of Vimy Ridge. During World War II, my great-uncle Stuart Patchett served as a navigator on an Avro Lancaster bomber. My grandfather, John Brown, served as a second lieutenant with Queen's Own Rifles. He was a wireless signal officer. He was a part of the liberation of Holland. And my grandmother, Florence Defoe, served in the Canadian Women's Army Corps and spent much of World War II here in London, stationed at Wolseley Barracks. Like so many other Canadians, these family members sacrificed so much for the freedom that we experience today. And like too many other Canadians, my great-uncle Jack Defoe, who served as a tail gunner in another Canadian bomber, made the ultimate sacrifice. He was shot and killed by a machine gunner as he parachuted out of his damaged bomber along with his crewmates over Germany. Since that time, over the following 80 or so years, countless other Canadians have served our country with honor. They've made sacrifices, they've suffered injuries, and even given their lives, all to protect our freedom. This is why we pause at this time of year to recognize the service, the courage, and the sacrifice, and to remember the atrocities of war, and to honor those who have served. And right now, we're going to do exactly that. Like I said off the top, our first guest today is Sean Wilson. He's a retired software developer and a teacher. He's a historian and a certified master gardener. He's also the director of the Remember November 11 Association, and he's held that position for the past 17 years. The focus of this organization is to honor Canadian veterans, to remember the fallen, and to help teach children about Canada's military. Sean, welcome to the show.
Great to be here, Matt. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. When you and I first met, it was over a decade ago.
Yep.
It was at a place called Remembrance Garden Memorial Park.
Right.
A park that your organization, a park that you and your mom created.
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
It was the anniversary of the beginning of World War I. And we decided we all wanted to plant a few poppies to commemorate the occasion. And it seemed great to have veterans and children and that involved. And it just blossomed from there. Once we got the poppies growing.
No pun intended.
No pun intended. The park just sort of naturally built itself around that poppy garden.
Yeah, it really did. I can remember being there. I'm not sure if it was the first day, but the park was just really becoming established. And we were out with youth, and we had little Dixie cups with poppy seeds.
That's
and we were
right.
shaking them into the garden.
Yeah.
What does it look like today?
Well, today it's become quite fulfilling. We've put a shape of the poppy around the outside of the garden. So from Google Maps, it looks like a large poppy.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah, and every year we have at least 2 crops of poppies. We're starting to increase that. by just reseeding all the time. They're Flanders Fields poppies, so they're not perennials. We have to keep adding seeds all the time.
So it's authentic.
It's authentic. And I've had veterans come out to that garden and say, "Gee, this is exactly what it looks like in France." Yeah, and now we've started adding individual memorial stones around the outside of the garden.
Yeah, I was going to say it's not just poppies anymore, is it?
No.
What else is there? If a person were to go for the first time, what could they expect to see?
Well, right now you can see there's a timeline of history. We have large monuments for Vimy Ridge and D-Day and different events through history. We have a whole section of the park for peacekeeping veterans and Korea, the Korean War. And then around the outside of our poppy garden, we have individual memorial stones. So if you wanted to commemorate old Uncle Frank, we can put together a stone that shows his service. We also do it for current veterans who pass away. We've actually been doing a stone for them in a memorial service. And that has become the new thing in the veterans world, is that they can have a stone beside their comrades. We can do, the one veteran, he said, "I want the same service that all the other guys get." And it's become a standard thing for them now to have a service at the park. And we're so thrilled to do it. And
I understand. I understand. And if someone did want to go and visit the park, what's the protocol around going to have a visit? Do they need to reach out to you?
Not necessarily. You can just go there on your own. There's walkways and benches. You can take a lunch and sit at a picnic table. We have people out there all the time visiting. Veterans go there. It's a solemn place to sit and contemplate and think. My favorite thing is when I go out there and I see an adult walking a child through there and showing them what's going on.
I remember doing that with mine.
Yes. One of my favorite memories was we had an event there for D-Day.
Yes.
And the poppies were all blooming, and it was quite a lovely event. And at the end of it, there was a 10-year-old girl Navy cadet walking Irene Masterson around the park, explaining to her what all the stones were.
Taking the Member of Parliament on a tour. Isn't that beautiful?
Exactly. And I thought, mission accomplished. That's at least once. But we want to see that all the time.
Yeah.
Just that engagement.
Absolutely. I wanted to cover some other topics as well.
Sure.
While we've got you here in the show. But just quickly, where specifically is this park? And is there a website or social media that people can tap into to find out a little bit more?
Yes. The park itself is at River Road and Veterans Memorial Parkway. The address is 2315 River Road.
On the southwest side?
Yes, sir. And there's a website now called remembrancegardens.ca. And on social media, we are the Remember November 11 Association. And we've got quite a robust Facebook presence. And we're always putting on things about history and then everything that's happening at the park. And
well, people can look for you there.
They can.
And I also wanted to touch on something else that's pretty special that Remember November 11 Association does. Around the same time that we met at the park,
right.
You were also starting something down at City Hall, out of Centennial Hall, and it was on Remembrance Day. It was a meal for veterans and their families.
Yes.
Is that still happening?
Yes, this is now going to be our 13th annual reception, we call it.
COVID probably had some plans.
We had
different than
2 years where we didn't do it, and that during those 2 years, we got a lot of people who reached out to us to say what happened to the reception. So we have the London Training Centers involved. They send down 2 chefs, and we also have our own food guru in our group as well. So we prepare and feed everybody at the parade, which usually is between 300 and 400 people.
Wow.
And like last year, we had beef brisket sandwiches and lots of salads and way too many desserts and hot coffee. And the other half of the room is filled with displays about our military.
Displays and artifacts. And it's really, what I remember from attending those lunches in the past is it's nice to come in, to get warm, to be with people, to keep the moment going, that moment that we all experience out at the cenotaph. And then also to reconnect with people as well.
That's right. And I also found before I did the reception, when I go to ceremonies and events, that the veterans and the civilians really didn't connect with each other. So this is a great moment for people to come in and say thanks for your service and have a coffee with the veteran, or to ask questions. And it's a great moment for the veterans to be able to tell their story. And they literally walk over to the displays and say, "Here's where I was at, and here's the kind of medal I had." And it's a very great feeling in that room, and it's also I love it when people bring their kids down there and they experience that camaraderie between the veterans.
And folks at home can look for that
Yeah,
right after the ceremony at the Cenotaph.
that's right. Yeah.
And that's at Centennial Hall again this year.
Yes, we open the doors at 11:30, and we always make sure there's lots of hot coffee and hot chocolate because some of those Remembrance days are pretty cold.
Are pretty cold.
And I've seen days where veterans come in and they're covered in frozen rain and things, and it's lovely to be able to give them a hot cup of coffee, a beautiful lunch, and then let them sit and revel in that time with the people.
Well, we've only got a couple of minutes left.
Right.
But I did want to touch on this. Your organization, Remember November 11 Association, has come a long way in 17 years.
It sure has.
You and your mom are the founders of the association.
Yes.
Where do you think it's going to go in the future?
What my plan is we're now in the process of becoming a charitable organization. I want to make sure that all the work that we've done on the receptions and the park and the different websites and the educational material that we've done it continues to move ahead, even if I'm not involved or my mom's not involved. She's going to be 96.
96 years young.
96 years young, and she's still out there fundraising and helping us get things done. And she's just very proud of the work we're doing. But mostly her and I never stop to look at what we've done. We're always looking at what's next.
Yeah.
And part of that is finding the next generation for me to pass this work on to, and make sure that these stories and these artifacts keep being brought in front of young people, because that's the old veterans, as they pass away, their biggest concern is that we're all going to forget. And my mission has been to make sure that we don't.
Well, you are doing an incredible job serving that mission.
Thanks, Matt.
When I look at where this project was a decade and a half ago, where it is today, and where it's going as you work for charitable not-for-profit status, I am sure that you will secure its future as well.
Oh, thank you, Matt.
Sean, to you and your mom, thank you for everything you've done for this project, for our community.
Okay.
You got to know it's appreciated by so many.
Yeah, we feel that, and we appreciate the support from everybody, and we just hope that we keep everything on the right path for everybody to enjoy.
Well, let's leave it at that.
Okay.
We're out of time. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Okay, thank you so much, Matt.
Our next guest is Kirsten Kroos. Kirsten is the president and founder of Swan Public Affairs. She has a background that spans political staffing both federally and provincially. She's held provincial bureaucratic roles, worked on campaigns, and in government relations too. Early in her career, Kirsten served in, among other offices, the Office of the Prime Minister of Canada. Kirsten is an active volunteer here in London, and her recognition as part of the class of 2023 Top 20 Under 40 underscores her standing in the local business community. Kirsten, it's great to see you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
So, why don't we just hit it right off the top? What is Homes for Heroes?
Homes for Heroes is a national not-for-profit foundation that is tasked with targeting unhoused veterans. They operate across Canada.
It's hard for me to believe that we have veterans who are experiencing homelessness, given the sacrifice that they've made for Canada, for our country. Is it prevalent?
Yeah, currently there's about 10,000 unhoused veterans across Canada they have identified. They did a study with McGill and the Maxwell School Policy. And there's currently 5 villages being made, and currently London and Winnipeg are being constructed simultaneously.
So 10,000 veterans are homeless, and there's a movement to address that. Where are there villages set up already?
There are.
models that we can look to?
Yeah, sorry. There's 3 currently. So it started in Western Canada, and then there's 2 more being constructed simultaneously in plans for more villages as they get completed.
Okay. And so we'll have a village here in London then, you said?
Yes, and it will be the biggest. Most of them have 20 tiny homes within the village, and we will have 25.
25. Okay. And so I imagine when you have a project like this that's a national project, it's difficult to organize, difficult to coordinate, a lot of volunteers doing a lot of things. How is it divided up regionally so that this can be a manageable project?
So Kim Shippey is the new vice president in charge of getting all these steering committees together. So each city has a steering committee in charge of their village.
Okay. And so you've got someone nationally coordinating steering committees right across Ontario, right across Canada. Who's chairing yours?
So we are fortunate to have retired Lieutenant General Peter Devlin, who's also the president of Fanshawe College, as our head of steering committee.
Wow. Well, I mean, if he can run the military and if he can run Fanshawe College, I'm sure you're really going to benefit from that leadership, and they've got you and other committee members as well. At this time, are you looking for steering committee members? If someone's watching and thinking this is something I'd like to get behind, something I'd like to volunteer for?
For the steering committee, I would say reach out to Kim Shippey, but we're always looking for volunteers. We're still putting in efforts to raise money, raise awareness, and build our partnerships here locally.
Yeah, and actually that was my next question. So this is a worthy cause. It's a worthy cause that's going to cost a lot of money. And so what does fundraising look like? Is it a local initiative? Is it something that's happening national, or is it both?
It's both. Our local project, we're targeting $4.5 million, and we have so many partnerships built nationally across the country. We also have Commissionaires Canada, who's celebrating their centennial. They're also going to be a big partner nationally as well. Some trades unions as well, and then we have some very big corporate sponsors as well that are chipping in.
Okay, so it's a real movement, you'd say. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, now folks watching at home, maybe they think this is something I'd like to get behind. How would they make a donation?
They can contact Kim Shippey, so Kim at h4hf.ca.
Kim at H?
The number 4.
The number 4, h.ca. Okay, or just do a quick Google, I guess, for Homes for Heroes Canada.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, I hope that people do choose to do that, especially at this time of year. We are remembering sacrifices and ultimate sacrifices that Canadians have made. It's frustrating to me. It's shameful to think that 10,000 people who served our country don't have a roof over their head today. And I think it's incredible that this organization is moving in this direction. What do things look like in that regard for London in terms of timeline, in terms of speed of implementation?
Yeah, it's been really great to work with the city to get things moving along. So we should have groundbreaking in a few weeks, and we're targeting having everything completed by the summer. So we have a local contractor, we have local landscape architect that's a part of it, and then we have tons of volunteers and other people that are really putting this together locally. As far as I know, everything's been set. So we have the site already secured and all the permits are in right now. So as far as I know, planning is going well and everybody is rowing in the same direction to get this completed.
I'm glad to hear that things are moving in such a positive direction forward. Think about it from a personal perspective, and I mentioned it in my intro. And I understand you have a personal connection to this as well.
I do. My lovely husband, who was my husband, he's a recently retired CAF member. So he served as a combat engineer, so he did mostly explosive ordnance disposal, and he also served in special forces. So he served in Afghanistan, and just knowing him and knowing a bunch of the peers and friends that we lived near and around when we lived in Petawawa and abroad, it just really goes to show that these people do sacrifice a lot. So the little things I can do by bringing awareness to these causes and these efforts that help support serving veterans and past serving veterans that suffer from PTSD and mental health issues is just very important to me.
Well, I can certainly understand that, and I commend you on the volunteer work that you're doing. It's interesting. Sean Wilson, the guest that was on just before you, off camera, he and I were talking about some of the messaging that he receives from veterans from this century, veterans who served in Afghanistan or around the world recently. And he told me that there's a term, new veteran, that's uncomfortable for a veteran who served recently, as if it's easier today than it may have been during World War I or World War II. And you've lived that. And I think that that's important. And thank you for sharing that personal story. I think for me, as a high school teacher, just as the war in Afghanistan was underway and shortly after its end, seeing the color pictures of Canadian soldiers who lost their lives while serving their country really brought it home that this isn't just a black and white film from 80 years ago. There are people, men and women, who are sacrificing for our freedom today. And we need to remember that too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I want to give you the last word. What message do you want folks watching from home to take away?
I want them to know how important this is. This is a village created that is not only just a village for veterans that are unhoused, but it has a resource center where they can get supportive services, counseling. Really, it's transitional housing. So they're there for 6 to 24 months, with the average being 12 months. They have skin in the game, they pay rent, and there's an 87% success rate for all our veterans leaving. If they need to stay longer, they can, but really this is about getting them to an independent living style for civilian life.
Wow. So it's not just a roof over their head, it's so much more. Well, time's not our friend today. We're out of it. Kirsten, thank you again for coming on to tell this story.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Well, London, that's the show. I hope you liked it, and I hope you know a little bit more about our city than you did a half an hour ago. Thanks to Sean and Kirsten for joining us here today, telling us about the work that they do and why it's more important than ever to remember. And that's the show. Thanks for tuning in, and please keep in mind that this show is for you. It's about all things local, and maybe some other stuff too. You can reach out and tell us what you think. Maybe you'd like to tell us what you'd like to see on a show moving forward, or maybe you have a topic you'd like to pitch and be on the show yourself. Well, you can email us at newsmakersldn@gmail.com. So, with that, many thanks to the show's producer, Chris Bergholz, and everyone here at Rogers 13. I'm Matt Brown, and this is Newsmakers. Thanks for watching. Bye for now, and see you again soon. Finally, to all of the veterans watching, thank you for your service. We remember.